Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of Unplugged by Shape America. I'm your host, Stephanie Morris, and today I have three incredible guests joining us from Prince George's County Public Schools. Amy Wiley is an instructional supervisor for physical education. Jonathan Jones recently took on a position as resource teacher, physical education, and Nana Donkor is with us. She is the instructional supervisor for health education in Prince George's County Public Schools. So to all three of you, welcome and thank you so much for being on our show today.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Yes, Stephanie. It's always nice to talk to you.
Great. So I just always like to tee things up a little bit on these shows with just checking in. So to all three of you, I'm curious, how are you right now? How has your summer been?
Go ahead, Jonathan.
Oh, well, for me, I mean, my summer was definitely a time of transition, with me leaving the school that I taught at, for 13 years. It was my first job out of college. And going into this new position, I'm really excited about. And, for me and my family, it's just, it's kind of finding our footing, in this new reality. So it's definitely taken some time to adjust, but, we're just taking every day, and we're really trying to give ourselves, grace and understanding each day.
And Amy or Nana, how are you doing and how's your summer?
Nana, you want to go ahead?
Sure. I will say I'm smiling to keep from crying because there is just so much. And I want to be honest and say that I'm not trying to put up a front or anything. It's not been easy. I have 4 children. I also have elderly parents who need to transition from their home to another place. And so taking that on, the responsibility of them, because I'm the only sibling in the immediate area, and trying to maintain my own family, in addition to trying to work, it's not been easy. But what I've been doing is trying to maintain, just trying to have a positive outlook and know that this is temporary and things will eventually get better. Just keeping that deep down inside has kept me going. And the hope and knowing that eventually we'll get through this, having become stronger individuals. So I'm doing the best that I can.
I so appreciate how all three of you always keep it real. Let me just say that. And I think everybody else who's listening is really going to relate to that and really appreciate it too. So thank you. And Amy, how have you been?
Honestly, it's been an adjustment, a time of reflection, definitely a time of growth and a mindset shift in, my 22nd year in Prince George's County. Summer was busy and honestly exhausting. The silver lining for me is that Jonathan is now in the position as the resource teacher. So I have help, and he's done an amazing job and jumped right in. And we are doing much better because of that. But as far as personally, it was exhausting going from March until now, and there was no stop for us in central office. So it has been tiring.
I can only imagine. I really can only imagine. And again, thank you so much for just keeping it real and just being honest with our listeners. So your mentioning of Jonathan taking this new role is a perfect segue. I wanted to talk a little bit about that because I'm really excited. So first of all, congratulations again to Jonathan on your new position in Prince George's County Public Schools as a resource teacher in physical education. Everyone at SHAPE is really excited for you. So can you share with us a little bit, and maybe Amy, please too, welcome your thoughts on what this position will involve and how do you and Amy envision this position contributing to physical education in your district?
So first of all, let me say that, my experience with you, Stephanie, and all people at Shape America has really kind of led me into this position because of, the relationships that I've built and the stuff that I've learned, from you all and the conferences has really given me a base of which to work with, in this new position as a resource teacher, which I really see as just being like an ultimate resource for all the teachers. So, so one of the things I did at the beginning is just to send out a survey to all the teachers, asking, how can I be of service? So not so much thinking what the teachers need and acting off that, but actually getting data of what the teachers actually need and acting off that. So creating resources, doing professional developments, just creating and helping to really benefit the teachers and knowing exactly what they need.
Yep. So I'm going to jump off of that. So Jonathan started virtually as a teacher at the end of the year and finished the school year as a teacher, and then jumped right in to become a resource for teachers, and has done an amazing job. So he's a couple days shy of 2 months in his position. And part of the neat part is I started as the supervisor, I think 14 years ago. And Jonathan, I think you were brand new around that time. So we've kind of been able to work off of this vision of creating what quality physical education looks like in Prince George's County. And now we just have to make sure we do it virtually. So it's been neat to start that position and establish what it's going to look like from here on out. And Jonathan's background and skills in technology have been a huge asset.
I can only imagine. I mean, that's just all really exciting to hear about. And Jonathan, thank you for the kind words. But I also should share with our audience that I actually had this amazing privilege, because Prince George's County is relatively close to where I live, to have done a couple of site visits now to visit schools and teachers and participate in their classrooms, thanks to Nana and Amy. And when I first started, the opportunity to see you teach in particular, Jonathan, at Whitehall was an incredible professional development experience for me, and one that really helped me understand what it means to connect, what it means to infuse physical education with SEL, to help children build relationships with each other and trust with their teacher. So I just have to share my thanks to the three of you, because you also have been a really important PD experience for me.
We appreciate you being able to come and do that with us.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, that was great.
Love it. It's really a special thing every year. And maybe we could figure out a way to do that virtually at some point this fall. So Nana, I've also been thinking a lot about our health educators recently and the kinds of meaningful conversations that they often facilitate with their students, and what this looks like in a COVID-19 era, depending on a need to physically distance or implement distance learning. So are you able to share any thoughts with our listeners on how you've been preparing for all of this in your district?
Yeah, so our district began the school year with virtual learning. And so teachers were forced to think about how they're going to provide instruction, either through synchronous or asynchronous instruction. And so I think that most of the teachers I've worked with have shared that they're going to do live sessions so that they can see and interact with their students, while they're together. And I think it's created an organic opportunity for us to address some of the mental and emotional health aspects that we so often address. We also have a chance to tap into even those some of those social interactions. And I think it sort of pushed them a little outside of their comfort zone to do something different and to try to create meaningful experiences for the students online. So I know it hasn't been easy for some, but they're trying to do the best that they can, just to check in with students regularly, just to see, if there's anything they can do to support them, to try to be flexible, and just to remember to have grace during this time.
I love that. And I remind myself of that every single day. Let's all have grace. So well done, and thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
So speaking of positive things that we try to remind ourselves of, are the three of you seeing any positive aspects at all in this moment in time for yourselves, in your roles, or for your teachers or your students?
So I think in this moment of time is very difficult, because it's so new, and it's so different than what quite frankly, we all signed up for as being educators. You want to be in front of the students to create those relationships and to really, affect and produce your content with the students. So I think at this point it's hard to see, but once we get past, the first or second week, I really do think that our teachers will create really great content, and content that can not only benefit their students within this time frame, but also transfer to when we eventually do come back in front of the students, because like everything they're creating, the skills that they're learning with technology, can all be really positive assets to help, push the physical education and health education. And then, also with one more thing, one thing I don't think that is talked about enough is teachers actually get to be a part now of students at home, which, teachers are traditionally looked at as this school entity, but, they're actually having a chance to greet the students, within their homes through virtually. So I think that can really have a great impact of, of the students seeing the teachers' faces, being able to interact with them while they're at home.
It's a great point, Jonathan. Thank you. I really appreciate those thoughts and insights. Anything to add, Amy or Nana?
Yeah, I just wanted to agree with Jonathan. I think, right now we all may be shuffling and hurrying, trying to put things together in preparation for virtual learning, distance learning, trying to make sure our kids are okay, trying to make sure we're okay. But I think there's a lot of greatness that's going to come from everything that, everyone is doing in this moment in time. I think, it may be hard to see it, but I think it's important to impress. And I always try to share and remind teachers that better will come. Things will get better. We have to remain hopeful that things will be okay soon enough, and we'll all be better individuals because of this.
Yes, yes, we will. That's what I said is I think it's uncomfortable, but this time is going to create something monumental that pushes educators to come out of their comfort zone. A positive aspect is that we'll be able to show that I am able to show that we can truly work remotely and do our work and get it done. And in education, it seems like people think certain positions should be tied to an office. And I think we've had the ability to show we get a lot done. And it hopefully makes us feel a little bit better. Personally, though, I think it's neat because I feel like my family has a better connection. Our health and wellness has become a bigger focus. And I don't know about all of you, but I feel like we're the healthiest we've ever been. I don't think we've had any germs since March. I feel like we're, no sniffles, no allergies, nothing. We're just, here. And in my family, we do regular family meetings to discuss how we're feeling and check in. And, we believe that therapy is important and vital as well. So we've been doing that on a regular basis if our kids need it.
I love it. That's fantastic. What awesome, positive things that you have identified and that you're lifting up and remembering to appreciate. So thank you to the three of you for sharing those thoughts. So any last words for our audience from any of you about teaching and connecting in a COVID-19 era right now for our audience?
I'll start. And I think that this time of virtual learning is too much, it's too big for something positive not to come out of it. And I think, when this is all over, I think that school districts or individual teachers are going to take the best parts of virtual learning and what they've done to improve education as a whole and to bring in more into the future. With education, I think traditionally it's been kind of stuck in the dark ages for some things, but this is such a great time to reevaluate how we do things and bring the best parts of how we've done things and also what we're doing now and bring education into the future.
I love that. Thank you very much, Jonathan. That's a really nice insight to leave us with. Nana or Amy, any last thoughts?
Yes, so I was gonna say that Jonathan brought up some very important points, and I agree 100% with. I think we're all gonna take a step back, be able to reflect on this, and move forward from the challenges that we face during this time of distance learning. But I also want to encourage everyone to know that the best that you can give is just that, the best that you can give. And if that means that, you know, all you can put forth is whatever you've done, whatever task that you've completed for that day, that's enough for that day. You can, you know, choose, you can make the decision to hold off the other tasks till the next day. And that's what I've had to do. I had to be more intentional about what I've, you know, chosen to move forward with and what I can put on hold to the next day, just for my own sanity, because it's a lot. So I would encourage and just remind everyone that, you know, what you give is your best, and that is just enough for that day.
I love that, Nana. And it strikes me that that's something we need to remember to cling to and adhere to even after we are past this COVID-19 situation, right? So thank you very much. And Amy?
Yep. And I want to remind people to surround yourself with amazing people. I am truly blessed to work with all of you, and you make me better. But I want to encourage our teachers and remind them to remember to just push through. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. But we all have the ability to learn new things. And this is like our first year all over again, and we're doing it all together. We're in it together, and we're going to be better for this.
Fantastic sentiment to end our show on. Thank you so much, Amy. I love that. We are going to be better together. We need just to remember to connect to each other when we're feeling low or struggling, and to just keep pushing forward. And I love it, to Nana's point, do what we can do on any given day. Let the rest go and keep moving. I love it. Thank you again to the three of you for your time. I know you have incredibly busy schedules and everything that you're doing right now and contributing to our students and our teachers in Prince George's County Public Schools. But thank you for taking the time to do this show with me today. I really appreciate it. It's great to see all three of you.
Thank you, Stephanie. It's an honor.
Yes, it is. Thank you. We appreciate all you're doing, Stephanie.
Yes, thank you, Stephanie. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Take care of yourselves. I hope to see you again soon. And to our audience listening, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Unplugged by Shape America, and I hope you tune in next time. Thank you.